Do you know what's funny though? And I see a lot of people like around our age getting married, yeah. And then I also see a lot of people around our age. Well, I'm 26, so a bit younger than you guys. So in their 30s, getting divorced. Yeah. Do you feel like people don't work hard enough for their marriage anymore?
I was thinking that when I was watching that episode. I think it might have been, I can't remember out of the two guys who said it, but it just made me then think, like, our parents' generations, for instance, they're willing to fight through much more stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas us, not to say me in particular, or whatever, but anyone can just not like one major thing.
And then you just
and it could be grounds for breaking up, or could be a trigger point for something, innit? But at the same time, I just think our generation as well, sometimes because of like, especially people that kind of publicize a lot of stuff, and things like that, or not show image as per, but you've already set a precedent, so you feel you have to live up to it. I feel in general, some people generally get married a bit too early.
Yeah.
I feel like that as well sometimes, and I think the way this society works now is that it's perceived like there's always options, isn't it? And you know, in this relationship thing, like, if you hear the word options, you forget that even if you leave who you're with, you're still gonna have to build a foundation with someone else, then go through that whole thing that you had before, because you think it might be better, and it might not even be better. It might even be worse.
The grass ain't always green.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth.
On the other side, so.
No, you're 100% correct.
I think in this generation, we're just more likely to take the leap of faith, thinking that, all right, we'll be all right.
That's what it is.
When it was rubbish.
You think, I do understand the flip side of it, of I'm not going to settle for this as well, innit? Because you think, in YOLO sense, you've literally only got one life, innit? But then...
At the same time, though, like, it's not settling if you chose that person, though.
Right.
No, I'm saying settling for something. No, I heard that point, but like, there's certain aspect. This is why I say I feel like people get married, because you don't actually learn someone fully. You're never gonna know someone 100% regardless, innit? But there's certain things that might be developed over time that you'll be like, raw, like, okay, now we're locked in like this. You've shown me a completely different side to an extent.
But like, people don't show you themselves; they show you a representation of themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
But
that's kind of my quotes.
But at the same time,
I like that.
You need to catch the character slipping before you actually make a decision.
That's the thing. So,
not to say sorry. When I said people get married too quick, because I've always said I never put a time limit on anything, innit? Whatever works for, say, you as a person or as a couple, whatever, is that's you, and you get me. And that's like me as well. I'd never put a time limit of, oh yeah, like I need to be with this person for this amount of years for this next step to happen. Like if you feel like you know, take that leap of faith in it.
It just happens.
It's just for me to bring that back again. Sorry, you were saying.
No, just back on to the point of what we're talking about, not fighting for marriages. As you said, our parents and our grandparents and those generations, you can see how long they've been together, and you can see what they've done in their marriages. I feel like our problem is, in this generation, we don't try and fall in, like, a marriage. It's you have to always, in my opinion, you have to always keep dating your partner. Yeah. So as long as you're with them, you have to keep dating your partner. It's got to be something new. You got to learn how to love them again. Because you always, I'll be honest, you fall out of love with them. You can fall out of love with them. Certain things you fall out of love. You just got to learn to love your partner again. And I feel that's what people aren't doing, or taking enough time to do, or trying to do. They fall out of love and it's like, okay, cool, I don't want this no more. I'm going to go for the next best thing. But the next best thing is going to be the same thing. Yeah. Because you're going to have to do the same thing again. And I feel like when you're in a long-term relationship, or you've been in a long-term relationship, you've got to find a new way to date your partner and carry on loving them in a certain type of way. And love changes over the course of years. So you can see, and I see that with my grandparents and with my parents and how they are with each other, and and I can see when they're not in the best place in loving each other, but you can see when they are, and you can see why they're together and what brings them together. Yeah. And I feel like that's what our generation, or the people I'm seeing around our ages, don't have. They just that one thing happens, okay, cool, I can leave tomorrow. As you said, they feel like they have options, but your options are always going to be the same thing again.
Like, you're always going to have options. Always.
Exactly. It's just, it's always just been an interesting one for me, man. And yeah, as I said before, people don't show themselves, they show a representation of themselves. So you've got to understand what you're going for. You get what I mean?
You really have to like see them,
poetry shit.
See them in every emotion. See what they're like when they're angry. See what they're like when they're sad.
Yeah, facts.
Then that's how you know. That's how you get to know how your potential partner is before you take the plunge.
There's always give and takes. Like,
True.
There's something you're not gonna like, but there's something.
There's always going to be something.
Yeah, you can accept. You'll find, and you'll know that from early on, etc. It's just, yeah.
If you can love me when I'm at my worst, then I know you're one of the people for me. You're someone to me. You get what I mean?